Hey everybody, good morning, evening, afternoon, yada yada, all of that. Lieutenant Asagbro back here. First things first, sorry about the pause in videos. I took a little bit of time off. I kind of wanted to learn, I guess, how to better edit YouTube videos, and I still haven't, so apologies. This one is just like my other ones, a bit staticky and whatnot, but hopefully a little bit more focused. I did speak with some of you regarding my videos. Thank you for contacting me. And I threw up not a poll, but I guess a critique session on Reddit, the Air Force forums. Got chewed out again pretty hard, but got some decent feedback. I'll be looking into that. So looking forward on the channel, or going forward on the channel, look forward to walks around my neighborhood, I guess, commutes to work. If I can get the audio to work, I was trying to test it earlier, but you could only hear like the wind. Some more topics and shorter videos. I know a lot of my videos are kind of like 30, 20, 40-minute monologues. I was told that, bite-sized chunks might be a bit better, so I'll try those a little bit. But if you have any other suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment. Email me, asagbro@gmail.com, or Facebook, either one. Yeah, so what's been up with me besides that? Just focusing on work. Starting to get pretty hectic again. For those of you new, welcome. Thank you for watching, getting here. My name is Second Lieutenant Aodeji Asagba. I work at an Air Force officer. I work at the Air Force Research Laboratories based in Edwards Air Force Base in Edwards, California. I'm a 61C, 61 Charlie. That is a rocket or a chemist, and I'm based in the propellants branch of AFRL. My duty title is rocket propulsion chemist. That sounds like a lot of stuff when you think about it, but basically it's just I just work on solid rocket fuel. Yeah, I've been at the tail end of a project that's starting to ramp up now, so I've been focusing a little bit on that. Not a lot of downtime unless it's like the weekends or something, and I just get lazy and, oh god, laundry. If I could, pausing everything, get into a habit of doing your laundry weekly, because I had like 4 weeks of laundry to pause. Anyway, yeah, that was good. Last week was a blood drive on base. I donated again. Quick funny side note about that: I finished donating blood. Like, if you've donated blood before, they check your iron by like poking you in one of your fingers with a needle just to check if you're deficient or not, and then they give you the actual needle for the blood work. So I had the band-aid on my finger. I had the wrap around my I guess my point of where my blood was taken. I don't know what that is, the middle of my arm, but yeah, and I got asked, voluntold to help set up the blood donation room, because when I was done, I was one of the last people on the site to donate blood, and I don't know what was happening. I was just told, hey, can you move stuff around? And I helped them, and then one of my buds who, because I'll get into this later, but because our exec was out on a TDY, or he might have been on leave, one of the other second lieutenants was bumped up to acting exec, and he was asking me for help, so I helped him out, only to find out that I was clearing the room for a tour of the site from a 3-star general, and they travel in mass, so I had the 3-star general, a couple of colonels, I think a lieutenant colonel, some majors, some captains, some master sergeant. It was like packed. Not packed, like maybe like 10, 15 people. And I'm standing there with like all this stuff on my arm at attention, talking. It was a pretty funny sight, but yeah. Aside that, not much has been happening. Just work. So hopefully I'll get back into the swing of things soon regarding the videos. And I know I keep saying it, but hopefully there'll be more, music in the background and whatnot, so if you want to listen to these, it's not just a voice. Anyway, keeping with the new, trying to keep everything concise so you don't have too long of a video. The other thing I wanted to talk to about was thinking about your job very well. So today I kind of had a lot of, not a lot, but a bit missteps at work. A couple of mistakes doing some tests, some oversights. Sometimes you're so gung ho about you knowing how to do something, you don't realize what it is that you're actually looking to do, or what the answer is to the question, or what the question is rather. And you're just like, I know how to do this. That was kind of like my thing. I was supposed to run a test. If any of you are lab geeks out there and you know how to run a DSC, which I keep forgetting what it's like. I keep saying digital scanning calorimetry or something. Calorimetry. It's like I've used it so much I don't even remember the name anymore. But basically, it tells you you put some material in a pan, a very small pan. You put it in this machine, and it tells you what point that thing melts or phase changes, and some other properties. And I had just been running it nonstop throughout the last 2 or 3 weeks, only to find out that I hadn't finished the entire cycle of the test. I had only done a portion of it. This is just dumbing it down very much. So when I brought all my results, and I was like, they're not really concise with what else for other people are finding, only to find out that there was more that I could have done that might mirror what they're finding. So it's a realistic kick in the face. You're never 100%, but it's not about you being 100%. It's about you. Well, yes, it is about you being 100%, but better that you learn from your mistakes and do better the next time than to just, bury your head in the sand. So kick to the ego, but it'll only help to make me better. And that brought about, help me to start on my next topic, thinking about your job very well. So when you come into the Air Force or any military branch, whether or not you're coming in as an enlisted or an officer, you're going to be given one AFS. Well, in the Air Force, it's AFSC, but you're going to be given one duty, and you're going to be doing that for some time up until you phase up, promotion, or something happens and you have to take over for someone else. But that's typically not the case, at least in that last part anyway, often. At least in the case of officers, I can only speak for myself. You're in your duty for 2 to 3 years as a new lieutenant, as a new officer. You're in there for 2 to 3 years, and then they bump you up to something more office-wise, not office-wise necessarily, but more hands-off, more managerial. There you go. So they want to use your skill set to make sure that everything else going around in the same field that you were works as well as it was when you were doing it, not letting talent go to waste. So you get a little bit less hands-off. But make sure, before I lose too much of that point, when you're going into the military, make sure that whatever job that you're assigned or that you select is something that you're gung-ho about. Not to say that you're going to do bad at something that you didn't pick, but, if you, using I don't want to do that. Say you wanted to be, a pilot, but they select you as I don't know, anything else. Think, like special forces or something. It doesn't mean, you're still serving your country. That's the biggest aspect, it's the biggest take home. So don't just say, hey, I didn't get what I wanted, I'm out. Be open to it, look into it, research to it. But, if you're not gung-ho about it, you don't want to go to work every day dredging it. I have yet to have that ever, and I pray that I never will. Because I signed up for more than just, being a chemist. I didn't even know that a chemist was a thing up until I saw it. I was like, oh. Yeah, you want to make sure, and the reason why I bring this up is that it's not that easy to switch to something that you do like. There are a lot of emails that you will get when you're in, asking if you are interested in another position, asking wide, not like just specifically you. Sometimes it might be specifically you, but usually you'll get like a chain email to all your branch or to all your, in our case, it's AFSCs, or job title. So any chemist in my area would get this email saying, hey, we're looking for chemists who want to branch out to something else, and so on and so forth. You want to make sure that, I almost lost my point. Actually, I kind of did. You want to, there are options to get out of that job, but you don't want to focus on those. You want to make sure that what you're doing is what you want to be in. Because aside from those random emails that you're going to be getting about other job openings, you're going to be stuck in your job for a period of time. Enlisted, I'm not sure how it is for officers, it's usually years. You can cross-train into something else. Cross-training being that they're taking you from your core job and then they're training you into something else. But you have to submit a package for that, and then you have to go, for one, be selected, and you need help from your higher-ups in your chain. And there's a good and a bad of that. The good is if you're a great worker, then they will vouch for you. If this is something that you want to do and you've not let them down in what you are currently doing, then they will vouch for you to do this as your next step. But if you're, hey, I wanted to be a pilot, this wasn't piloting, so I'm going to half-ass what I'm currently doing, your supervisor has to okay the fact that they want you to leave their command to work somewhere else. So they will say that, no, you've been bad at this X, Y, and Z, which will only harm you when the selection board is meeting to give you, or however you might be chosen for that job title is meeting to give you that job. So something I did get in an email, because me personally, I am looking into getting into piloting, and we'll see how that goes. But coming from the chemist side, there's a lot that I have to work up to, notwithstanding the glasses part, to get there. But one of the key points that I did get from a captain, Captain Lee, I don't even think he's at my base, just somebody that my lieutenant colonel told me to reach out to, is that you want to do well where you are for a little bit of time, so that when you do want to push your package forward, sorry guys, let me go and minimize this because I know that noise is distracting. That when you are now looking to apply to that job, you have a good foundation. You have history. You have a chain of command that will vouch for you. You have connections, and you have all this that you could push forward. Like, you don't want to come into one job and like, all right, I'm in the military now, let me immediately get out of it and do something else. Because as I got from my colonel, my commander, that screws out everybody who was looking to get you into where you were in the first place. Because now if I were to leave my area, everybody else who was like, all right, we now have another chemist to help us with the mission, and then I'm telling them, hey guys, I'm out, they're like, we're back to where we were before we got you, you know? So a lot of that just to say, make sure that you give thought to what you want to do. And even if you are proposed with something that wasn't what you were thinking, give it some thought. You might warm up to it, but make sure that you go in knowing that you care. You might not know where you want to end up. I personally don't. I want to be a pilot. I want to be a commander. I have AFIT open to me as a teacher. I mean, I'm not a teacher, but I can get my degree and then go to the Air Force Institute of Technology and teach, or the academy, or X, Y, and Z. I can do a million things. I'm not sure where I want to yet. But I know I'm not going to be leaving my initial chemist position so immediately just to pursue that, because it'll only hamper me down the road. But I am curious if there's anybody who's still not in, or still processing, or looking to start all of this. What are your jobs? Where do you work? Oh, well, what are you looking to work at if you haven't gotten in? What jobs are you interested in? And if you are in, or about to start training and all of that, what jobs did you get selected for? Did you pick it yourself, or was it like, hey, I chose this, but they gave me that, and I went with it anyway because I wanted to get in? That is something that can happen at MEPS. We could talk about that later, but yeah, please feel free to put that down in the comment section, or shoot me a message and we could talk about it in the next one. Also of note, something that I did mention on Reddit but not here, if anybody is in the military, or if anybody is joining or in process of joining or whatever, and would like to do a co-episode, like a, like a one-to-one or a group, whatever, Skype call that we would air as a podcast and just shoot back onto my YouTube. Do let me know. Definitely in the talks with a couple of you Facebook channels. As you know, I linked the Air Force officer, and there's another person, I think abled veteran or something. He wants to do some collabs together, and it's pretty cool. It's growing up to be something big, or at least big enough for me. But if you're interested in just talking, shooting the breeze, getting to know one another's areas, how things are different. Maybe this is my side in the Air Force coming in. What's it like on the Navy or the Army or something or whatnot? Shoot me a message. Aside from that, that's all I got. Again, hopefully I'll be pumping out some more episodes for you soon. They'll be short like this, not too terribly long. But if you have any other comments, questions, concerns, please feel free to leave a comment. Like, subscribe, share it. That'd be really cool. And again, I guess that's it. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and catch you next time.